Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's lesson. Let's go ahead and get started with today's lesson objective. So, today we will summarize data on a dot plot. All right. Now, let's go over our lesson success criteria. So, our first lesson success criteria is that I can create a dot plot. And our second success criteria is I can explain data on a dot plot. All right. So, data. What is data? Data is just a collection of information that is gathered by observation, questioning, or measurement. So it's just a collection of information, and we can get that information in various different ways. One of them might be from a question, like what sport do you play? And over here, we are displaying or summarizing our data with a frequency table. Okay, so all of these things will kind of show us different ways to show data, but data is just a collection of information. Now, a dot plot is a way that we display data or we summarize data. So a dot plot is a number line that is long enough to encompass all numbers in a sample showing a dot over the position corresponding to each number. So we're going to get into what a dot plot is in just a second. Basically, a dot plot is a number line. And we see our number line right over here. And then over each of the numbers on our number line, we have a dot to represent a data point. And we're going to go ahead and create a dot plot right now in this lesson. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and X my video out, my face out, so that you guys can kind of see better. So in our problem, it says a meteorologist set up rain gauges at various locations around a city and recorded the rainfall in the table below over here. Okay, so we have our data over here. Okay, we want to create a dot plot to summarize the data. All right, so in order to make a dot plot, the first thing we need to do is make a straight line, is to make a number line. Now, before we go and start labeling our number line, we want to look at our data, and we're going to record the amount of rainfall. So we're going to look at our data right over here because it is under our rainfall tab or column. So we're going to look at our data and we're going to find our smallest data point. So over here, I see my smallest data point is 1/8. And then I'm going to find my largest data point, which is 1 1/4. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I am going to make a tick mark. I'm going to use the smallest data point I have, which is going to be 1/8. And then I'm going to go up by 1/8 until I get to 1 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and put down 2/8. Oops, 2/8. 3/8. Oh, hang on. That looks a little messy. There we go. 4/8. 5/8. 6/8. 7/8. 8/8, which is the same as 1. So I'm putting down 1 right here. And then I'm going to put down 1 1/8 and 1 1/4. Or I'm sorry, and 2/8. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to write some equivalent fractions on here for the sake of this problem. If you have any questions about how to make equivalent fractions, feel free to ask me or to ask a peer, and we can explain how these are equivalent fractions. But some things that I see right here is that 6/8 is going to be equal to 3/4. I also see that 2/8 is going to be equal to 1/4. And then 1 1/4 is going to be equal to 1 2/8. So we're going to use this information right here to kind of help us out. Okay, so now that we have our number line created, we are going to go ahead and look at our data and start putting in our dots for our dot plot. So a dot plot, we got to find each of our corresponding numbers. So our number 1, location 1, I see that it is 1/8, right? So I'm going to go ahead and find 1/8 on my number line. I'm going to put a dot. So I have 1/8 right here. I'm going to go ahead and write a dot right there. And I'm going to change this to blue. And we're going to go ahead and cross that off. Now, the next point that I see is 3/8. Now, I got to go ahead and find 3/8 on my number line. So I have 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, and I'm going to go ahead and draw a dot right above it. So I found that right there. The next data point is 3/4. Now this one I need to do a little bit of conversion because my number line is an eighth. So I see over here that I have 3/4 is equal to 6/8. So I'm going to go ahead and find 6/8, which is 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, and draw a dot right above that. So I'm going to go ahead and cross that off. For location 4, I see 3/4 again. So again, 3/4 is equal to 6/8. So I'm going to draw a dot right there. Now I need to find 1/4. So 1/4 from our conversion is equal to 2/8. So I'm going to find 2/8 and draw a dot right there. Now for location 6, I see 1 and 1/4. From our conversion, I see 1 and 1/4 is equal to 1 and 2/8. So I'm going to go ahead and find 1 and 2/8, draw one dot right above it. Then for location 7, I see it's 1/8. So I'm going to find 1/8, draw a dot right above there. And then for location 8, it's 1/4. 1/4 is equal to 2/8. And then for location 9, 1. So I'm going to find 1, draw a dot right above 1. And then the last location is 10. So I'm going to find 1/8. And I'm going to draw a dot right above that. And there is our dot plot. I'm going to go ahead and erase our conversions so that we can see this data a little bit better. And then now what we can do is we can go ahead and use our dot plot to gather some information or to kind of just make some summaries and kind of figure out what some information about our data points, right? So looking at my dot plot, I can see that I have the most dots at 1/8. So that is our highest data point is 1/8. I can also see that 1 or 4/8 has no data points and neither do 8/7. So we can see that is one of our lowest data points. I can see that we had 2 occurrences of 2/8, and I can also see that I have 1 occurrence of 1 and 2/8. Okay, so this was our dot plot. Okay, let's go ahead and review our lesson objective. So our lesson objective for today was we summarized data on a dot plot or using a dot plot. All right, fantastic. Thank you so much. I hope this was helpful. Make sure that you do your must-dos and should-dos and look over your lesson success criteria, and I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.